2 days until the anniversary. Vesh Lanner had the keynote. The weight of that speech pressed on her as she worked late into the station night. On her screen, a linguistic pattern lit up. The word FIDA trust, embedded in a language that had never contacted its neighbor.
That's not possible. The Hethrin and the Kaelor evolved on opposite spiral arms.
She pulled up the comparative lexicon. FIDA again in 3rd, 4th, 5th languages, each alien, each silent for millennia.
Either the archives are corrupted, or someone planted this word across the galaxy before any of them had starflight.
Her heart hammered. She ran a statistical correlation. The probability of natural occurrence was 0.
What have I found?
She saved the search results, encrypted them, and stared at the countdown to the ceremony. For a moment, she recalled the Concordat's selection, her lifetime's work honored. Then the word FIDA stared back. Trust.
I can't bring this to the council. Not yet. Not until I understand. Jor Enna, I need you in my office. It's urgent.
Jor Enna arrived within minutes, his 4 eyes scanning the cluttered room.
Look at this word. It appears in 5 unrelated languages, each with the same meaning. The correlation is 0.0.
A glitch in the central archives. The data trees cross-reference errors all the time.
This isn't a cross-link error, Jor. Every language shows native usage patterns. The word evolved separately, but identically. That's impossible.
Impossible things happen. But if you are right, what are you implying? Someone spread a single word across the galaxy in ancient times.
I can't give that speech with this hanging over me. I need answers before the ceremony.
So they went to the Galactic Linguistic Archive, the deepest repository of language trees in the Concordat, and began pulling records no one had touched in centuries.
Here, Mara betrayal in the Kaelor phrase logs from the First Dynasty, and Keth in the Hethrin burial texts. Same pattern. We have 2 days, Vesh. 2 days to prove an ancient conspiracy or salvage your speech. Which is it going to be?
We'll do both. Pull the ancient trade logs. If these words spread by contact, the routes will show it.
They cross-referenced the loan words with every known ancient trade route. The words appeared in systems that had never exchanged goods, never shared a jump gate.
Look at the timeline. These words predate the oldest recorded contact by 3,000 years. That's before any known species had hyperdrive.
If not trade, then what? No known species had hyperdrive at that date.
They stared at the galaxy map as loanword sites lit up on opposite spiral arms, impossible distances between them.
The only explanation is deliberate seeding. But who could cross that distance in the pre-starfaring era?
Unless they weren't pre-starfaring.
She ran a search for other anomalies. Family, debt, betrayal, and they appeared in every major culture, always before first contact.
Vesh, this isn't a linguistic quirk. Someone engineered the social structure of the entire galaxy.
And they've had 10,000 years to do it. We need to keep this between us.
Back in her office, Vesh dove into the Concordat's oldest personnel logs, diplomatic records stretching back millennia.
Look at this. A translator named Ether served the Keth Empire in the Third Dynasty. 5 centuries later, Atheris appears in the Hadron Collective with the same function.
The physical descriptions shift slightly, height, skin texture, but the core features persist. Manual dexterity, vocal range, the same across species.
The records showed translators, merchants, exchange students. Always different names, always the same roles, appearing in civilizations that never contacted each other.
They edited their own genetics. They became the species they infiltrated. That's why no one ever noticed.
If they can change their appearance at will, how do we ever identify one?
His hand shook over the data crystal. Every historical figure who had shaped galactic culture might have been part of this network.
We've been living among them for thousands of years, and we never knew.
2 days. The anniversary speech is in 2 days. If this is true, the Concordat is standing on a bed of embers.
Then we light a match before someone else does. Keep digging.
Vesh requested a brief meeting with Ambassador Tolan, framing it as a routine update on the keynote. She entered the crystalline office with her heart in her throat.
Ambassador, I've found an anomaly in the linguistic archives. Ancient words appearing in isolated cultures. It may be indicative of pre-recorded contact.
Ancient anomalies are the scholar's favorite distraction. Vesh Lannar. The ceremony is in 2 days. Your speech must unify, not fracture. You were chosen to honor what we've built. Don't risk that by chasing shadows.
She knows something, or she doesn't. And I sound like a fool. Either way, I can't tell her everything.
That night, Vesh sat alone in her sparse apartment. The city lights glowed below, but all she saw were the threads of a conspiracy woven through history.
Jor Enna, it's me. Tolan dismissed it. We can't trust official channels.
Then we do this ourselves. Quietly. I'll pull everything I can from the restricted archives.
If they find out, we'll be branded pariahs. Or worse, do it. And delete everything the moment you are done.
Jor Enna worked through the night in the biolab, sequencing tissue samples from ancient translator remains. The results turned his 4 eyes wide.
Vesh, I found something. Deep markers in the genetic code. Basal sequences that don't match any known species.
What does that mean? They're not any known species?
Number. They're human, Vesh. The Terran markers are buried under layers of genetic editing, but the root is unmistakably Terran.
Human. The lost species. They never went extinct. They became us.
He projected the timeline. The markers appeared exactly when the loanwords did, spreading across the galaxy in slow waves over 9,000 years.
They didn't just seed language. They seeded themselves into our bloodlines, our families, our institutions.
If that's true, then anyone could be Terran now.
And no test can reliably unmask them. The modifications are too thorough, too ancient. We'd have to sequence every living being in the Concordat.
The speech, the anniversary, it's all a lie. And I have to stand on that stage in front of them.
They aligned the loanword introduction, dates with major cultural shifts. The correlation was instant. Everywhere,
The word for debt appears in the Keth Empire 3 generations before they codified their first banking laws.
And family turns up in the Hadron Collective right when they abandoned hive structures for nuclear domiciles. Every single time, the word preceded the concept.
on the star map, loanword sites bloomed not as random points but as triggers for societal restructurings, each language a seed that reshaped an empire.
They weren't just adding words. They were engineering our legal systems, our family structures, even how we define betrayal.
To what end? What kind of society were they trying to build? And for whom?
She pulled historical archives. Every major empire's legal code contained Terran loanwords in the foundational clauses: trust, debt, family, as if the law itself was built on alien bones.
They embedded themselves into the very concept of justice. If we try to root them out, we collapse our own moral frameworks.
This isn't an infiltration, it's a foundation. We built our civilization on words they gave us, and we called it our own.
In the hum of the archive, they stared at the web of influence, 10 millennia of patient design, and still no clue what final shape it was meant to take. The next evening, Vesh used every override code she'd ever collected. The restricted archive vault loomed before her, sealed with the Concordat's oldest crimson seals.
If the founders hid something about the Terrans, it would be in here.
Her hands trembled as she decrypted a buried record, a personal log from Concordat founder Tereth Van, dated 8,000 years ago. The log read, "The Terran Gambit is no myth. Their dreadnought, Whitmore's memory, waits in the shadow orbit. We could not destroy it. It is keyed to their linguistic lattice."
Shadow orbit? Whitmore's memory? A ship that's been here all along?
She opened an ancillary file, a schematic of the dreadnought, its hull covered in thousands of alien scripts, dormant but pulsing with a faint teal energy.
It's a trigger. The anniversary. All those loan words echoing across the galaxy at once. They're a key.
The Founder's final line was a plea. Never sent. If you read this, the anniversary is near. The words will wake it, and you cannot stop what you have spoken for 10 millennia.
The words we speak tomorrow aren't celebration. They're an ignition key.
She secured the file and pressed her back against the cold metal door. The countdown to the ceremony was now a countdown to something far worse. Vesh returned to her apartment and contacted Jor Enna. He answered from the biolab. Face drawn, all 4 eyes ringed with exhaustion.
Jor, I found it. Whitmore's memory. It's in a hidden orbit around the capital, keyed to tomorrow's ceremonies.
Then I need to show you something. The genetic projection finished. It's worse than we imagined.
He sent the data. A galaxy map bloomed, millions of crimson threads connecting bloodlines across every empire, descendants of the Terran genome, indistinguishable from their neighbors.
Every chancellor, every ambassador, every merchant you pass in the street could be them, and we have no test, no way to know.
Even Jor Enna, even me, we've worked side by side for years, and I have no idea what runs in his blood, or mine.
They stared into the comlink, a sudden silence stretching. 4 eyes and 2 searching each other for signs that weren't there.
I know what you are thinking, the same thing I am thinking when I look at you. But if we start doubting each other now, we've already lost.
A truce. We don't ask. We just work. And after tomorrow, if there is an after, we deal with it.
The suspicion didn't fade. It settled into a permanent coldness between them. They were now allies out of necessity, not trust. Vesh tried to access the Central Fleet Registry to confirm the Dreadnought's orbit. Her codes were denied.
Impossible. Only Talon's office could revoke my clearance.
She requested an immediate audience. Tolan received her in the crystalline office with a visible security detail.
You've been probing classified data, Vesh Lannar. I warned you. This ends now.
There's a dreadnought in orbit keyed to our ceremony. If you silence me, you ensure disaster.
Disaster is you spreading panic. Think carefully. One speech can preserve peace, or one accusation can ignite a war of suspicion.
Then I'll give the speech, but I'll tell the truth. The Concordat is built on a lie, and the galaxy deserves to know.
Tolan's crystalline face hardened. She gestured to the guards, and Vesh was escorted out, not detained, but watched. Back in her apartment, Vesh sat before a blank speech document. Her hands trembled above the glowing tablet.
I'll light the match. Jor Enna will transmit everything if I fail, and if I succeed, we all burn.
Through the night, Vesh decoded the final layers of the Founder's sealed log. Each line peeled back a new horror.
It's not just the words. The whole linguistic architecture of the ceremony, every speech, every chant, is designed to complete a resonance cascade.
She projected the Dreadnought's core schematic, a crystalline lattice waiting for the exact harmonic of 10 millennia of spoken Terran words to breathe life into it.
Jor, the Dreadnought isn't just receiving, it's keyed to the exact phonetics we'll use in the keynote. The Founder's log calls it the ignition phrase.
Then every ambassador who recites the traditional greeting tomorrow will be speaking the final command. We can't stop them without causing chaos.
The Concordat is holding a gun to its own head, and we're the ones loading it.
They tried every jamming frequency, every override signal. The Dreadnought's ancient systems absorbed them like silence.
Even if I warn them, they won't believe me in time. They'll dismiss it as a crackpot theory, and Tolan will have me arrested.
The countdown on her console ticked, 17 hours, 42 minutes. The trap had been waiting for 10 millennia. It would not be denied now.
If I can't stop the ceremony, then I have to use it. Expose the truth before the last syllable is spoken.
Using the Founder's orbital data, Jor Enna triangulated the Dreadnought's position. A shadow orbit behind the capital's moon.
There, the signal is faint, but it's powering up. Teal energy signatures doubling every hour.
They patched into a remote telescope. The Whitmore's memory emerged from lunar shadow, its weathered hull carved with 1 billion alien scripts, teal seams pulsing.
It's real. It's really there.
They initiated a wide-spectrum dampening field. Routing every watt through the Concordate's emergency transmission grid, the Dreadnought's bridge flickered online. Ancient consoles lit one by one, absorbing the jamming signal without effect.
It's no use. The ship's systems are pre-jamming. They're treating our signal as background noise.
10,000 years of waiting, and we can't even slow it down.
They withdrew the jamming attempt. The countdown ticked, 12 hours until ceremony. The Dreadnought would transmit, and nothing could stop it.
Then we prepare for the aftermath. Save the data, set it to broadcast on every channel the moment the Dreadnought goes silent. We'll give them the truth.
She opened a blank document and began to overwrite the speech they'd approved. Every word of the original had to go. The old draft celebrated unity. Her new one would announce betrayal. She typed the first line, "We are here to commemorate a lie."
They'll try to stop me. Tolan will have guards. But if I get the first sentence out, they can't cover it up.
She sketched evidence, the loanword maps, the genetic spread, the Dreadnought's waiting signature. Each slide a weapon. Hours passed. Her bioluminescent patterns flickered erratically from exhaustion. But she didn't stop.
Jor Enna, the broadcast needs to go out simultaneously. The moment the Dreadnought transmits, push our packet. Let them hear the truth from us.
He acknowledged, his voice hollow. She ended the call, and a tear fell, blurring the tablet's final page.
Even if they silence me, if I die on that stage, the galaxy will know. That's enough.
She saved the final draft. The countdown read, 2 hours. For a long moment, she stared at her reflection in the dark screen. Then she stood, straightened her robes, and walked toward the ceremony. The anniversary ceremony began as scheduled. The grand hall filled with thousands of delegates from every known empire, banners hanging in the warm light. In the backstage alcove, Vesh waited, her tablet clutched so tightly her knuckles paled. The speech was loaded. Her comm buzzed. Jor Enna's emergency channel.
Vesh, the Dreadnought broke orbit. It's overhead now, teal seams flaring. The resonance is building.
The line dissolved into static, then silence. The Dreadnought's pre-transmission field had swallowed her comm.
I am out of time. If I don't speak now, the ship will speak for me.
She stepped through the curtain. The podium lights hit her like a physical force, but she did not flinch. The hall quieted. Every face turned toward her, expecting the ceremonial greeting.
Honored delegates, we are not here to celebrate. We are here to acknowledge a 10,000-year lie.
Her words echoed. Far above, invisible through the chamber ceiling, the Dreadnought's teal seams pulsed brighter.
For 10,000 years, words have appeared in our languages that cannot be there. Trust, family, betrayal. They were not random. They were planted.
In the front row, Ambassador Tolan stiffened, her crystalline hand lifted in a subtle command.
Cut the feed, now.
The lights on the podium flickered. The live broadcast indicator died.
They're silencing me. I have seconds.
She threw her tablet aside, stepped closer to the edge of the stage, and shouted the next line with her bare voice.
The lost species you commemorate, they are not gone. They are.
The great hall's alarms erupted, drowning her words. Crimson panels flared along every wall. Delegates rose, chairs scraping. The emergency bulkheads began to descend. In the chaos, a new sound cut through, a deep, resonant hum from above, vibrating through the stone. The ceiling viewports polarized, revealing the Whitmore's memory in full. A mountain of carved metal, teal seams blazing. Every screen, every comm channel across the capital was overridden by a single ancient signal.
We never left. We are your translators, your historians, your spouses, your friends. We have been raising your children for 10,000 years.
The voice shifted seamlessly between every language in the Concordat, as if it had always been speaking them.
We seeded our words into your cultures, our genes into your bloodlines. We became indistinguishable from you. The galaxy did not forget us. The galaxy became us. We are you.
For a long, suspended moment, the entire hall was held in the gravity of those words. The broadcast ended. The dreadnought's teal seams dimmed, and it hung in orbit like a verdict. The silence in the hall lasted 3 heartbeats. Then a delegate from the Keth seats rose, pointing at the Talon delegation. Human, the history of your empire is full of their loanwords. You knew. Ambassador Tolan stood frozen as half a dozen other species turned on her. On the podium, Vesh saw the guards Tolan had positioned earlier begin to move toward her. She ducked behind the stage curtain. A brawl erupted in the Keth delegation. Someone screamed that the historian was Terran. The hall disintegrated.
Jor Enna.
They've locked down the hall. There's a maintenance shaft behind the tapestry. Go.
They ran together, heavy bootsteps echoing behind them. A stun bolt shattered a wall panel inches from Vesh's head.
They're not stopping. They're not even asking questions.
Jor Enna slammed the emergency bulkhead behind them, sealing the tunnel. The roaring chaos became a muffled thunder. They stopped in a narrow maintenance alcove, breath heaving. The emergency lights cast long shadows, but the shouting felt miles away.
I kept a few contacts outside the capital. If I can get a warning out, they might prepare, buy us some time.
Jor, every signal is monitored now. They'll trace you.
I know. But this might be the last thing I can do. Tell them. Tell them. Tell them the truth is already out.
Heavy boots echoed through the tunnel. 4 guards, weapons raised, rounded the corner.
Go, Vesh, now.
Vesh stumbled, looked back, and saw Jor Enna raising his hands in surrender, his 4 eyes meeting hers with a final, steady calm. She ran. The passage narrowed, darkened. The sound of a stun charge and a body hitting metal reached her ears, and she did not stop.
He gave himself up for me, for the truth. Now I am alone with it.
The tunnel ended at a rusted ladder. She climbed into a forgotten sublevel, utterly alone, the weight of the galaxy pressing on her shoulders. She found her private archive, a small, dusty room deep in the forgotten sublevel, stacked with ancient data cores. Among the piles, she retrieved a crystal she had kept for years, a relic marked with Terran glyphs no one else could read.
The final piece, the original council message, sealed in their own tongue.
She activated it. A holographic screen bloomed, translating the ancient human text into Concordat standard. We chose to disappear so that we could become everything. You are all Terran now. The words hung in the air, silent and absolute.
Not conquest, not invasion. They erased the idea of otherness entirely. They won by making us them. Everyone I have ever known might carry their blood, even me.
She touched the carved Terran word for family on the wall, feeling the weight of 10 millennia.
They didn't conquer the galaxy, they became it.
In the archive, she activated an old emergency transmitter. Its range was limited, but she routed it through the sublevel's maintenance relays.
People of the Concordat, this is Vesh Lannar. The Dreadnought told you the truth. Now I am asking you not to do what it expects. The Terrans want us to destroy ourselves. If we hunt for them, we do their work. Their strategy wasn't violence, it was paranoia. Remember who you are before this day. The words they gave us built our civilizations. Don't let them tear us apart.
Her broadcast went out on every open frequency. Across the city, screens showed her face beside the Dreadnought's fading silhouette. Some crowds paused, listening. Others shouted over it, accusing her of being Terran herself. The chaos swallowed her words in parts. In orbit, the Whitmore's memory engaged its ancient thrusters. Slowly, silently, it began to retreat into the starfield. Vesh watched through a small observation port in the sublevel, seeing the teal seams fade like a closing eye.
Maybe a few will remember. Maybe enough.
The dreadnought shrank to a point of light and vanished. Its purpose was served. The galaxy would never be the same. In the market, traders set up their stalls but kept their distance, eyes flicking to every passerby. A Kaelor merchant held a scanner to every customer before exchanging goods. The ritual of suspicion had replaced the ritual of bargaining. The ancient loanword for trust was still painted on the stall signs, but now it read like a warning. A child tugged at her parent's sleeve, voice trembling. "Are we human? Did they give us our words too?" The parent had no answer, only a tightening grip on the child's hand and a long look toward the empty sky. Vesh emerged into the open days later. The grand hall was empty now, debris scattered, banners torn and trampled. She walked down the center aisle, her footsteps echoing. The podium where she had shouted the truth stood untouched. On the floor, a shattered tablet displayed the last frame of her speech, frozen mid-word. She picked it up, wiped the dust, and saw her own face staring back. A woman who had told the galaxy the most terrible truth and lived. She set it down gently. The galaxy was broken, but it was still breathing. And so was she. Vesh climbed to an abandoned observation deck, high above the city. Through the viewport, the starfield stretched infinite, far away. The Whitmore's memory was a diminishing oval of carved metal, its teal seams pulsing a slow, final rhythm.
They won.
Not through fleets or armies, through patience, words, and the quiet undoing of the very idea of other.
I spent my life studying language. It was the weapon all along.
The dreadnought's hull shimmered, every language in the galaxy carved across its surface, glowing in final acknowledgement. 10,000 years of silent labor, and the trap had sprung without a single missile fired. The glowing teal seams shifted, rearranging themselves. Slowly, they spelled out the ancient human title of the gambit. The words glowed in 100 tongues, yet they needed none. You are all Terran now. And in the silence of the observation deck, Vesh Lanner understood that the war she had uncovered had ended before she was born, and she had been living inside the victory ever since.